All right, hello, greetings and welcome in everyone. Hello. My name is Harrier Citadel, avian alien sentinel of Fort Misthaven, perpetrator of creative chaos and general maker of things. Welcome in, happy new week. Haha. I hope everyone is doing okay. Happy Monday. Hello. Wow. It has been an interesting last couple of days. It has been an interesting last couple of days. Some of which I can't actually talk about right now. But some of which is kind of cool. It's kind of actually a little bit of a lot to unpack, I think, maybe potentially. So we're gonna talk about things a couple of times over, more likely than not, so apologies in advance to the VOD squad if you end up hearing the same story 4 or 5 times. But for everyone who is here, I really appreciate your coming by. Elephant in the room is the pinned chat at the moment. That is a survey. It's nothing scary. It's just me looking at what times I am actually doing my streaming. So I am presently in the process of doing a lot of data capture and a lot of data gathering to see what I can improve on, both in terms of making streams accessible to you guys, firstly, with this survey, and also just generally doing better at the content creation madness that is stuff that is currently happening. So, we are going to have that survey available for a couple of days, I think. Probably into the new week. So this will be pinned on all of the streams for the next week, so that if you've missed today, that you don't lose the link. And that if you get sick and tired of hearing about the survey link, I apologize, but I just want to make sure that I give enough opportunity for people to potentially respond. So that you can all be heard accordingly. So there are a couple of things that I'm looking at potentially changing up, sleep schedule being one of them. A little bit of a health concern has been raised about my biphasal sleep cycle, in that the interrupted nature of the pattern might increase cortisol levels, which if you know, that's the stress hormone, and that does a whole bunch of nasty stuff to you, unfortunately, which does not sound appealing. So we are looking at ways that I can potentially return to a single sleep cycle in a day, and that means figuring out when I need to be awake to get the most optimal balance for you guys, and for when I need to be available domestically within my household. So it's things that we're busy balancing out and trying to find what time slots are appropriate and effective and available and blah. So if you can, please fill out that survey. It would be a huge help to me, and I would sincerely appreciate it. Because why? You can't make good decisions based off of bad information. So we want to get the best information we can. And we shall talk about a little bit more of the other stuff a little bit more down the line, I think. We are also going to be obviously working on Marius Ajaxon's rig today. If you are on YouTube, you'll see the thumbnail for that. We are indeed still working on the Marius commission. Toaster, welcome in, and thank you for the save. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have literally just opened up the file, so there's nothing to save yet, but I'll hit the save button anyway. Thank you. How are you doing, Toaster? Hello, hello, hello. I'm actually gonna head across and stand over there. Boink. There we go. All good already. About 2 to 3 more weeks of school left. Hey, nice. Almost done with the course. Well done, well done, well done. Props. Oh no, that was a bad pun. I'm sorry. Or it was a good pun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was either terrible or brilliant. One of the two. You know, because helicopter, engine, mechanic, props, propeller. Yeah, ouch. Nah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And how are you doing there, Toaster? I need to take note of the time for today. It is... Here it is. Found it. It is now... Time check, time check, time check. I am well. I've recently gotten line work for my model art. Ooh, nice, 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 nice. That is awesome. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. Exciting updates! Very exciting updates. Wahahaha! 2118. Okay, and I'm gonna try to take note of my time in a more segmented fashion than the last couple of days, because otherwise, it's gonna be hard to figure out, I'm going to need to go back to my previous VODs, because I've not worked on this outside of the VODs as well. To make sure that I know how much time I'm spending on each phase of the process as well. And that's part of what we're going to be doing tomorrow, is combing through everything to see how long it takes me to do stuff. So it's going to be a weird day tomorrow, but it's going to be fun. Hehe. No, but Toaster, having the line art for your model is a fantastic step forward. Ah! I am super curious to see what the model is going to look like. Honestly. It's a big, big, big exciting change. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to address that clipping issue here without editing the artwork. So I don't want to necessarily do that. It'll be wonderful, but I'm still having adjustments be made. It's squirrel arms for a moment. Ah, I see, I see, I see. So you want to just tone it down a little bit. I get you, I get you. Getting a nice aesthetically pleasing balance between tone and overdone musculature is an interesting artistic challenge, so I get it. I get it. So what we're starting with on this rig today is we're just going to go through our expression pieces first and see if we can get these refined, because we can see there's a couple of things that are very, very wobbly, before we copy the eyes across to the opposite side again, because there are things that need to be responsive in ways and we need to make sure that it looks good. And we need to import the sparkles again. So first things first, we're gonna open. We're gonna go monitor off for a moment. And then come in here. Into Marius's folder. Expressions.psd, pull that in. Add as new art mesh. Yes, okay, cool. Cool. So now these three get pulled into the other subfolder. That one. Delete group because we don't need it. And source images. All those. Wait. Into there. Delete that because we don't need that anymore. There we go. There we go. Should be nicely ready to fly there. Now this needs to go in here. Like that, as well as those need to go in there. What also needs to come in there is this, which needs to be out of the head XY, in there. And then that and all of those need to go into a group, and this is going to be the expression floats, and this is on the starboard side. Great. That one doesn't need to exist, and that one doesn't need to exist. Okay, so that'll become like that. Alright, and now we apply that to our head XY. And I don't need two of those or two of those. Alright, like that will do. And like that will do. Great. And Alex, hello, hello. How's the rigging coming along? It is going well. It is going well. This is actually the first time that I'm touching the rig since the last time we streamed it. But we are currently doing some refinements to the expression pieces. And as soon as we have all of those in place, those need to go into a deformer for visibility, create. Then we will be able to start copying things across to the opposite side again before moving on to the other body parts as well. So we are slowly but certainly making progress. I just want to have the head completely done before we move on to the body in any further detail than what we've currently got. That being said, there are some other things that we want to talk about a little bit later in the stream as well. So we're just going to give it some time, let folk assemble as they see fit. And in the meantime, if you would be so kind, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would fill in the survey that you'll see in the pinned comment, because I am looking at some optimizations for things, and with that, knowing when you guys are actually here, potentially at all times of the week, what is convenient for you guys is really helpful for me to make sure that I can actually set up my streams for when you guys are actually present. And it will also give me an opportunity to maybe change things up a little bit. We'll see how exactly everything pans out once we've actually got information gathered that will allow us to make those necessary optimizations. Okay. That will work there, that'll work there. And this also needs to be on the breath. So those two need to be on breath too. And let's scale this one down a smidge. And this one we're going to scale up a smidge. All right, that'll work there. And then our sparkles are also going to go on the breath. Nope. Okay, that will do there. That will do for that. Now, if we go into our physics settings, come close, toggle on our sparkles. Can't really particularly see them there. They're shining, but they're shining kind of slowly. So what I want to do is I actually want to make a third parameter here. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go copy, paste, copy, paste. Put our sparkles on. And I feel like maybe. No. Let's see. If we toggle that on, how does that behave? Okay, that I'm definitely going to have to slow down. Or speed up, rather, as well. Copy that and paste that there as well. So, physics, again, test. I think we need 4. Now, what's my range? From 0 to 1. So that's going to be... adjust. No. I'm going to add another one. Okay. Adjust. That is going to be 0. So we've got 0, 1. Our in-betweens is going to be 0.3 and 0.6. Okay, so then we should have that there, and that one repeated there. So we should now have on the angry 2 loops. Okay, what's happening with this pacing? Small, big, small, big. Oh, it's got an interpolation thing, that's why it's going faster in the middle. So we're going to adjust accordingly. So then we're just going to take that from 0.33 to maybe 0.25 and make that one 0.75. Enter. Okay. Now that should correct for the interpolation a little bit. Get that space a little bit more consistent. Not quite, but it is actually at a pretty decent rhythm. Sort of a heartbeatish sort of a rhythm, which is not bad. That's not bad at all, actually. So we can roll with that. We can roll with that. So, here then, how's that behaving? Still need to do the interpolation on the corners there. All right. So these are going to come up like that. And down like that. And these are going to go down like that. And up like that. And grab both of those, and we're going to go extended interpolation, ellipse, and 3. Okay. And check. That one will be easy enough to see how it's behaving there now. Okay. That works. That works. And we still need to put those sparkles into a sparkle visibility piece, so this, the sparkles are still showing. Okay. So now we go recenter, create sparkle viz, create, and choose the sparkles parameter, and there we go, 0. And now we should only see them when they go switched on. Good. Now these sparkles around the eye as well, I also want to give them something to work with. So, where is that? This is the blush layer. I'm looking for this. We're going to come in here. And we're going to get rid of the extras around the edges, like that. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. There we go. And that is a hydrate. So everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverage, and let's all take a sip, shall we? All right. Necessary. And reset. There we go. Now we put that on our breath parameter. Also, yeah, that one. All right, now that is gonna go undo, 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 undo. Here, what we're gonna do here. Right, so now we go copy, nope, copy, and paste, and check sparkles on. Okay. It is 2 regular. We've got all 4 going in the same direction. I don't like that for a start. And they're also a bit aggressive in terms of how much they're moving. Okay, let's check that. But first, copy, paste, and test. That's a bit better, a little bit more subtle. The fact that the outer and inner sparkles don't operate at the same pace is maybe not a bad thing as well. Gives a little bit more dynamic. So I'm happy with that. So let's just check how things behave. Eyes closed. Okay, so the tears are still an issue when the eyes are closed, so that needs to be addressed. Why? Why is that an issue when the eyes are closed? It's on the corners, that's why. Corners are not yet. Optimized. Yeah. Let's make that 100. Okay, something like that should do the trick. That should do the trick. And then... yeah. Test. Okay, it looks like the only way I'm going to fix this clipping issue is if I change my methodology for dealing with the side bangs from using a masking layer to conceal them to having changes in draw order, which means I need to give everything a little bit more dimensionality. So I'm going to, rather than try and move all of the layers at the top, which is going to be front hair layers and all of this madness, I'm going to move the body and head back layers backwards. I think that's what I'm going to do in terms of draw orders. So how we are going to handle that then is we're going to go to our head turn mask and remove that for a moment. I want to just see if we go here then. Yeah, that mask for all practical purposes no longer exists. All right, so then we come over here. And here, and here, here, here. That one, 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 that one. And associates. All right, so all of those, let's just go multiple keys editing. We're going to go draw order, we're going to go additive, and we're going to go negative 20, just so that we've got more space than what we're actually probably going to need. Okay. This one also is going to go draw order, negative 10, negative 20. There we go. So then, this should then be wait, which one? Okay, so then these need to get put on draw orders on the head X. So we're going to add those. Let's start here. Here it needs to be 490. Okay. That'll work. And over here. So that's those two. Next, we grab that. Also put it by default on 490. But here, what we're going to do Just put this back up to 500 when we get here. And that solves our clipping issue with the tiers. So then the same happens over here. Defaults to 490. One and two. But from here it goes up to 500 and to 500. All right, now if we test, we should see it actually goes really smoothly. I'm happy with that. Tiers on. Tier issue successfully sorted. The clipping issue has been resolved. Yay! Okay. So I think with that we have repaired all of the expression pieces. So that's going to be to expressions. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go here. And now we can copy the eye across again and all of its associates. So eye starboard, select child objects, all of them, down all the way to here. Why is the tier not in that group? Why is the tiers not in that group? Tiers XY needs to not be in head XY, it needs to be in eyes. Needs to be in the eye starboard. Select child objects. Grab everything. Copy. Paste. Modeling. Edit form. Flip. X. Hit X. Okay. Ooh, got another layer order issue now that I did not see earlier. On this flower, which also needs to be on the head X draw order. This needs to be 490 by default. Yeah, that's what it needed to be. Okay. Corrections made, yay! And that is functional. And test. Okay. Ooh. Not done yet. I still need to repair the blush. Still need to repair the blush. So blush correction. Firstly, switch it on. Something like that. Wait. And like so. Now we go here, modeling, parameter, motion mirroring, yes. Flip horizontal, here, same thing, model, parameter, motion mirroring. Yes, yes. Now, that also goes onto the extended interpolation, ellipse, and free. And proceeds to look a lot smoother. Test! Once again. Flush on. With this complexion though, I wonder if this should not be on a multiply. That looks a little bit more like part of the skin on a multiply than on a normal layer. I think that is going to be better. Okay. Happiness there. Okay. Now I correct my timestamp accordingly. That's going to be 33. 27. There we go. That should do the trick. That should do the trick. And next, we need to look at, just checking when I am in this process again. Next is going to be looking at our body movements. Let's just see. I'm gonna duplicate that. Call that so input is going to be there, output is going to be there, and we'll come back to that. So next we need to do the meshing over here. So the next piece that we need to make note of what we are doing, this is going to be torso mesh. And that's 35. Grab those, clear, mirror edit on, please and thank you. All right. Enough pieces over here. Okay. Next. That because it's wrong, clear that because it's wrong. Okay. You want to have enough resolution here to at least have some bendability. For that one. All right, and close the loop. And that should work just fine. Okay. Nearly there in terms of meshing out torso. We just need one. Right, there we go. That will work. And that is a hydrate. So everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages and let us take a sip. Yuck. There we go. And reset our timer. There we go, there we go. And we continue the mesh because we're not quite done yet. We've still got to do protection on the pectorals, so that's got to happen. Need more resolution on that line so that we don't have weird wobbly bits where we do not want them. Okay, that's just gonna have to do for now. So now what we're going to do is here, we're gonna go torso X. We need 6 on the horizontal at least, and 5. Let's go 25 on the vertical, just for a safe start. There we go. Make tight. There we go. That should do the trick there. Now, let's just compress everything in the head deformer. Let's think very carefully for a moment here. I'm going to hide you guys because I do not want to get confuzzled by too many things that I'm seeing. So, 3 for a start. This mouse! Okay. The first things first, I think this is probably going to want to have a little bit of a twist to it, because I don't think that this art cut allows for much in terms of lower body flexibility. So I need to be careful about how I'm going to handle this so that it doesn't look like we've got a piece of cardboard. That we're just twisting, which is exactly what we're doing, is we're twisting a piece of paper for practical purposes. So now my gut says make him lean back a bit. Also, because the entire torso is on one art piece, there's also a limited amount of deformation that I can do believably. So let's start with parameter, motion mirroring, okay. And extended interpolation, ellipse, and 3. Okay. And then this is gonna get neck, body X, create, come in there, slide you that way. Modeling parameter, motion mirroring, okay. Brief test. Output settings, body X. Reset magnification, yes. Increase, yes. It's already something. Tony, hello, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? Good to see you. Oh, hello. Why did my headphones just switch themselves off? How strange. Hello? Why? Why did they just do that? I'm doing alright. How about yourself? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Had a very busy last couple of days, but it's been busy in the good way. Okay. Out of battery, that's why. Okay. Out of battery. Wedge it like that. There we go. It's fine. It's not like I'm listening to anything myself. So as long as the audio still works, which looks like it is, based on the pip on OBS, even if I haven't got the headphones on, you should be okay. Eek. Whew. Ah, there we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Yes, we are currently working on a rig for Marius Ajaxon, Cave Ferry, and it is going pretty well. So a lot of stuff has happened over the weekend. I haven't really spoken about it yet in the stream, but I'm probably going to do so in about another hour. I'm going to talk about all of the madness that has happened and is in process. So I've not yet had the juicy little debrief over Enclave, so if you are available to stick around for that, please do sit tight. That'll happen in approximately an hour-ish. Let's just get a little bit of solid productivity in and give folk a chance to arrive, because I do understand and appreciate that folk from multiple time zones are in fact here, and based on what I perceive looking at the data that I do have, quite a few of us only arrive on average a little bit later in the stream, and I don't want to exclude them from all of the fun, interesting little details. That being said, I do have a survey pinned, so if you have not yet had a look at the survey, please consider doing so. We are looking at making some adjustments to our stream times, and that is I just did it. Thank you. That information will be most valuable. Most valuable. Greatly appreciated. To making sure that we are operating at a point in time that makes sense for everyone. we go. Test. That also already looks a ton better. Now I just want to see again, in terms of the collective reaction. I'm just checking for a I can't remember what this parameter is that it needs to be, but I think it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be here. Okay. Now here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go 600 pixels on the brush, I think. 1600 maybe. Okay, something like that. Grab you. And apply a little bit. Nope, this selection is not correct because we need it to blend a bit further down. It needs to happen in the soft between the ribs and the hip bone, not in the middle of the rib. That's a bit better. Okay, modeling, parameter, motion mirroring, okay, like that. Cool. And then another one, neck, body, lean. create. Yeah. Put you like that. Modeling parameter motion mirroring. Okay, like so. There we go. Physics settings. And we're going to go duplicate, and this is going to be torso lean. Okay. Output is going to be body lean and torso lean. Okay. Reset, yes. Increase, yes. Input settings is going to be angle Z. And there we've got a little bit more fluid dynamic in the general torso. Cool. It's a good start. All right. Now we need to get the rest of this to actually connect. So that also needs to get meshed. And X plus lean time check 2303. All right, next thing that needs to happen is going to be 2303 is going to be hip mesh plus X. All right, so we start by getting rid of everything. One on the peak, one on the trough. Of each of those. Come into the corner. Right. Now this way. And then we are pretty much there, I think. On that mesh, yeah. Alright, add that into hip X. We do not need 25 high, that can be like four. 4 is enough, yes. Okay. And we go 3, come over here. This needs to bump ever so slightly that way. Right, modeling, parameter, motion mirroring, okay, and like that, and extended interpolation, ellipse, and 3. Okay, check. How those two interact. That works. That works, that works, that works! Yay! And then the tail in its entirety goes in there. I think. No. Tail needs to go into tail hip X, create body X. Here it needs to come that way, give a sense of depth to the torso. Modeling, parameter, motion mirroring, flip. Okay. So there it gives the sense that there is actually mass to the torso. Okay. In terms of tail behavior. All right, now we go there, put that in, and here we line those up like that. But those need to also be, this is okay. Like so. Like so. Modeling parameter. No, it's not going to be a motion mirroring. Why? Because this is only one side's leg. Here on this side, it's going to behave differently. So that one goes in there. That one lands over there. Joshua, hello, hello. Mighty artist, I lurk boy, but hope things are going well. Thank you for the lurk, Joshua. I really appreciate the lurk. Things are going well. if you would be so kind, I have got a pinned survey in the comments. I'm gathering information about when people are available for me to stream, because I'm looking at potentially changing things up a little bit. And if you would be so kind as to fill that in, it would go great strides in making it more possible to make good decisions. On the topic of when we're streaming, and all of the logistics that goes around that. Whoopah! And that is the hydrate timer. So everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages, and let's take a sip. Eh? Timing! Timing. Okay, so this app is being extra dumb and I don't know how to fix it. Literally have to unsub, resub, wait 1 minute to be able to comment. So about that glitch on YouTube, it is a known thing. And then if I ever close the chat box, it locks me out again. Yeah, so the easiest way to fix the YouTube chat box at the moment, because it is a known bug that they're busy working on, as far as I'm aware, is to go and on the little drop down where it says top chat, to toggle that to live chat and then back to top chat, or whichever one is easiest. Apparently, that also fixes the sub mode chat problem. Apparently. I've not had the opportunity yet to check that. Oh yeah, that works. Yeah, so it is a known issue. If you do find that your chat is glitching, please just toggle between live and top chat on YouTube, and you should be able to get back without going through the whole sub unsub rigmarole again, which is a pain. Yeah, it's weird for me too. I just sit for a second and it recognizes that I'm subbed. Anyway, how be? We be good. We have had a bit of a wild bumper weekend, in positive ways. And I'm going to be talking about the Enclave experience in about 45 minutes. Let me just reset my hydrate timer now that I'm talking about time. There we go. And yes, it has been really positive, but on that same note, I'm doing a lot of revision on things coming out of that weekend, because I am kind of just hyped and pumped to, you know, do better at things. I want to do better at things, and therefore I am in all of the data capture mode at the moment, trying to put things in place, reshuffling things, cleaning things up, optimizing things. And it's a bit wild and a bit busy. And I've also got other kind of fun, cool stuff happening in the background that I can't actually talk about yet, but there is a lot of cool stuff planned and in scope, and it's been a really, really good weekend on that front. So I am a happy burb. I'm a happy camper. I'm a really, really happy burb. And I really hope that you guys had a good weekend as well. Any interesting fun stories you'd like to share? Before we go into debrief mode regarding the Enclave and the associated madness. Yeah, so that is going to be around about as good as we're going to get that. I'm still not happy with how the torso is looking, but let's see what we can get right. Oh. There's a limited amount I can do with that. Okay. Okay. Then this is gonna be next. Time check. 23:16. Okay. And then we're going to go 23:17 is our next section, and we're going to be doing jacket mesh plus X. Okay. And we do not need the mirrored for this one. Clear it. There we go. Ooh. Right. That's how this one is handled. That's how this one is handled. I forgot for a second there. It's okay, it's okay. So, what we're gonna do is this. Okay, almost have this in place. Almost. Now what we need to do is get these bits protected as well. Okay, so the interesting challenge with how this jacket is put together is that it's all on one layer. So once again, there is a little bit of a limitation in play. It's not an impossibility to work with, but it is a little bit of a limitation for maneuverability. And I do believe this is also going to be a physics object, so I need to pay attention to that as well. I may need to you know what, I'm going to ask Mari if we can get permission to add 2 art pieces. There are 2 art pieces that I would like to ask permission to add to this rig. So I'm going to ask Mari to convey that question through to J-Shiro. Just for functionality's sake. But I'm going to need to do some recording first of examples so that I can give a rationale. Because I do not want to potentially have any misunderstandings about perceived quality or anything like that. I think I just need to ask for that one little functional assist, because every artist has their own way of doing the layer cuts and everything, and every rigger has their own preferences on how they like layers to be separated. Goodness knows I have my preferences as well. So it just needs to be communicated that there is a little need so that we can see what this potential scope is for that, or if I'm going to need to put a compromise in place accordingly. I mean, it's not a bad thing to be aware of limitations and so on. And be comfy with, okay, sometimes you have to stick with limitations if need be. But when we are working on a project that is as big as, you know, building someone's entire online identity, basically, as a collaborative effort, it is not a bad idea to communicate. It's not a bad idea to communicate. And see what both parties or all involved parties can do to make it the best representation of everyone's potential or everyone's work in the same sphere. So this one is going to be with X, and that needs to be at least 30. Create. Yep. Scale down, scale down. There we go. Make tight. Okay. 6 other. That's gonna be jacket X 1. No. Copy, paste, paste, like that. Lane shape, -1 to 1. Okay. That's going to be 1. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Then shape. Edit parameter. Then shape. Okay. There we go. There we go. Save button. Save button is a good idea. Just like that. Okay. Okay. That'll work. And then let's see. Since that's on the physics, we need to go here. Create that. Come to this side. This is the bottom piece, so we're just going to go with that. And here. Being careful to not clip through the body, which is going to be an interesting thing because it is very tight to the torso. It's very tight to the torso, so there is going to be a potential for clipping. Which we're going to need to account and correct for. Okay. More divisions that way. That will have to do. Okay. So that one is okay. Next, you. And paste. I'm just going to have on this side that only the inner part actually carries through, because otherwise we're going to have clipping issues. If we have the entire jacket go sweep across, then we're going to definitely have clipping issues, which we do not want. So if we go here, and we duplicate it, and we go and call this one. Yeah. Output settings, and we switch that to... Wait. Right, so that is already a significant change to the entire vibe. So make that 20. Shaking influence, I think, needs to be significantly lower though. Let's try and just make that there. How about 0.8? Make it feel a little bit heavier. And then I'm actually going to drop this inside the torso X as well. Let's just see. Okay, next. There. And there. And grab that information. Paste. There we go. Mm-hmm. And grab those ones, copy, and paste. And the last one. Copy and paste. And here, I'm going to grab that. Copy. Paste. Split the difference. There we go. Now if we go here, we should see a little bit of movement, but it's fine. It's subtle at the moment. But that's also because we have not yet got Y's in place. So now what we do is we go replicate parameters, bump those to the bottom, edit, y1, y1, edit, y2, okay, three, edit, y4, and lastly y5. Okay. Now what we do is we go copy, paste, change y5, change y4, change y3, change y2, change y1, there we go. This one, all this fills y. And duplicate this. Jacket Y, okay. Input is going to be angle Y. Output is going to be yes. Okay, that shaking influence needs to increase, I think. Output settings, reset. Yes, increase, yes. Yeah, reset, yes, increase, yes. Okay, that helps for a start. Okay. Now, make sure I am on POS Y. And that is the right way around, yes. Let's bump that up to 85. Duration down to 15. Okay, we're getting there. We are very, very, very much getting there. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly go into monitor off mode for a smidge. And I'm just going to quickly send a message to Marius. Or. First I need to make a quick recording. Phone. Camera. Right, check the video. Okay, it's not too shaky. We're good. Okay, so now I'll be able to send that through and ask a question accordingly. About... Hey, hello! Good evening. That is a hydrate, everyone. So, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages, and let's take a sip. Hey! Woo! Okay. And also on that note, I'm just gonna put the next 30-minute timer for the next hydrate. There we go. So I'm just gonna quickly ask about this extra layer that I'd like us to get from Jay, and then we are gonna start talking about Enclave and the associated madness that has followed in the wake of a bunch of interesting stuff happening over the weekend. So, let me just ask the question. First, attach the file. That's the one we're looking for. Just quickly writing that message up. and then we shall proceed to talk. I am busy with the physics on your jacket. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with the other question. I can live without it. It's just this one there that is actually 100% critical. Hiding the edge of the torso. To provide a jacket back layer to fill the gap, grant permission for me to add the jacket back on my own. If she does, if this person, if the capacity is not available. When in doubt, get rid of all pronouns. If the capacity is not available, on the side. Send. Okay. Okay, so, Sushian, hello, and thank you for that whole huge collection of things that I could not hear because my headphones are out of battery, so I did not hear any of those go off. But thank you for all of those. Wow, we've got a save, we've got a hydrate, we've got headpats, and we've got push-ups, yay! Okay, we've got the whole hog right there. So, save button. I think we're actually pretty much gonna call it there until such time as we hear back from Marius regarding the matter I've just sent a message about. So let us head to the chatting screen. And go. There we go. And everyone, courtesy of Sishian, please acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages, and let's take a sip. There we go. And push-ups. 5 push-ups. Okay. And then we're going to talk about Enclave. I promise. Okay, so. And the rest of the madness that happened over the weekend. Okay, so let me just get in position over here. Wrist. broad stance, because we're working on the back mostly, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So. Oh, where to begin? So, for everyone who is not sure what I mean with the stream title and Enclave debrief, that is what we're about to talk about right now. So, I mentioned last week, pretty much the whole of last week, that there was not going to be a Sunday stream because I was going to be playing my first ever game of Enclave. And now, I know there's more than one Enclave game in the world. We're talking about the diceless and tableless tabletop RPG, which is an interesting concept. And it was an absolute blast. It was so much fun. I have incredibly limited roleplay experience. I have played 1, 2, 3, 4 D&D sessions, all of which were with a bunch of newbies, including myself and a newbie DM. So we were shaky at best, and that died a very swift death like 5 years ago, courtesy of scheduling conflicts. So that is the extent of my roleplay experience. And obviously VTubing and roleplay go together like peas and carrots. So I really wanted to do something that would get me back into the acting side of things, and I found Enclave a little bit by accident while looking for roleplay tips via D&D live streamers or D&D video makers, to try and find ways to improve, because tabletop roleplay games are one of the best ways to kind of, practice improv. And I stumbled over it, read about it, really liked the concept, and last night was my first ever mission with the Enclave. Now, world building wise, the Enclave is in a multiverse that spans all sorts of time periods and levels of magical and technological advancement. So it is an incredibly versatile world build, and all of the players are agents for this not interdimensional, but inter-world mercenary guild called the Enclave. And it is really interesting because it's highly episodic, so each mission that you go in is a one-shot. Your character, or characters that you might have in different classes, are something that can grow across multiple missions, but those missions don't necessarily need to be hosted by the same person, and you don't necessarily need to have the same people in your team, which means it's really easy to drop in and out of games kind of on the spur of the moment. You don't need to have these huge, crazy scheduling madnesses. That is what killed my previous attempts at getting into roleplay madness. And that was a really big plus point. And I have only good things to say about the game at the moment, honestly. Frankly, I only have good things to say about the game. It was a lot of fun. I also had a relatively new conduit, by what I can gather He seems to have been a relatively new conduit. Conduit is what the Enclave calls the DM, basically, or the GM. But he did a really, really good job. He set up a mission that was actually adorably wholesome. The briefing was that we were tasked with finding a book that had escaped from the Wandering Library. The book was the autobiography of the Invisible Man, and all it wanted was to be seen. Now, the catch was that we had to find this book and return it to the library without alerting the authorities in the town that it had escaped in that magic exists, or that magic was at play. So we couldn't do like ultra flashy combat or anything like that, so it was a very interesting setup in that regard, and it played out well. It played out really, really well. I had 2 party members. One was a postman, a literal wandering postman, who had a bag of tricks that was just very, very, very useful. And he was technologically minded, which was also very, very useful, especially when the clock tower started being all weird magically, and we needed to repair the clock. And the other party member was a librarian. He was a librarian. His name was Wraith. He had several past lives that he can recall a few of. But yes, that was my party, and I was playing an illusionist by the name of Emily. I briefly introduced you guys to Emily a couple of days ago as well, and I think overall it was a really well-balanced party. I was kind of reminding everyone, mission objective is don't show the magic. I was kind of keeping the rails on there, but the other 2 were absolute champions in terms of managing their skills, managing their classes, coming up with cool ideas of how to handle things. The conduit was really, really cool as well. He had a nice, clean, easy to understand plot, which I think for me as a new player was really, really helpful. It wasn't this huge convoluted thing. The entire session was only about 3 hours, which it could have potentially been longer had I not reminded them that, guys, if we don't get the book back to the library in time, then it's going to warp the fabric of reality beyond repair. So we should probably hurry. So that was my I was the voice of prudence on that front in the game, but it still took 3 hours. It still took 3 hours, but it was so much fun. And I can only recommend the game. Seriously, it was a ball. A lot of the online games are managed through the official Discord server for Enclave, and there are a whole bunch of conduits on the server. The game developer himself is on the server, which is also cool. And it is actually a really sort of a comfy place. Every time there is a new mission, it is posted on the mission board, and you can ask if you are available at the time where the mission is due to be held. You could just sign up for it. You can just say, hey, I've got this character, and I like this premise. I'd like to be part of this mission, and you can sign up. And sometimes there's a chain set of missions, which is kind of like a campaign, but at the same time not, which is also interesting. So it takes the same episodic formula, but you might not necessarily have exactly the same crew. You might have one or two members on your crew who remember what happened on the previous mission, but you may not necessarily have a full crew who are the same on every mission, which is kind of interesting. It's definitely interesting, and it doesn't break the plot. So that was fun. That was good to know. Overall, I would say that the playability of the game is really accessible. Like, you don't have to have numbers memorized. Your character classes are straightforward but still interesting with their limitations, and it really asks you to lean into your backstory. It asks you to lean into your appearance. It asks you to lean into your character acting. It was everything I could possibly want out of a game that would teach me how to roleplay. Like 11 out of 10. It was exactly the sort of thing that I wanted it to be. And I'm definitely going to try and play it again. I am going to be reading the rule set a little bit more clearly in terms of the game setup, because if it is viable for me and I have the brain power to do it and come up with the right plot beats for it, I might actually try conduiting myself at some point, and then I'm going to do it on the channel. I think that would be a ton of fun. I have this sense that it might be something that I can do. I am not 100% sure I've got it in me to do like that. I don't think I've got it in me to do DMing for a D&D thing, but I do think I might have it in me to conduit for Enclave. Potentially. We'll see. We'll see. I'll need to read through how the setups work for it and write up a practice mission or 3 and see how I feel about it. But I think that it is definitely worth checking out. If you are interested in roleplay games and character acting and improving your improv skills, definitely worth checking out. I will... Well, I previously had in the general channel of the Fort Misthaven Discord server, I did drop the link to where you can find the old rule set for the game as well. So if you are interested in that, it is readily available. You can look for Enclave Advent or Enclave Aspirant. Those are the 2 versions, Advent being the old one and Aspirant being the new one that is on its way after the Kickstarter has had its successful end recently. It is in preparation for shipping out, the new version. And that will come with a whole set of new classes and all of that, and it's going to be a ton of fun. That being said, the the game was not the only thing that happened over the weekend. So, I was obviously in fangirl mode a little bit over Saturday. I was totally in fangirl mode over Saturday. Waving the motivational pom-poms for Wilhelm van der Bos on his indie re-debut. Also, 100% do check him out. If you enjoy my stuff, you are going to absolutely adore him as well. And yeah, the big comic project. What did you guys think of the big comic project? That was That was fun. It was fun to do that again. What did you guys think of the big comic project? For Ville's return. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. And I definitely want to do more comic work this year, like by a long ways. Like, I really, really, really want to do more comic work. I actually think I'm going to push that up into the featured section of my VHN this year. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And really lean into the comic making a little bit more as well. I think it is something that fills my tank quite significantly. The action comic side of things, especially, it's my genre. It's my genre. There's no way around that. So I really enjoyed that. We had limited feedback so far, but from the Plumies and everyone who has seen it, it seems like it was really, really well received. So I'm really, really grateful that it was well received. And I hope to be able to do more cool stuff similar to that later. I don't know how soon I will be able to do something Misthaven related unless I decide to do some stuff that is maybe pre-canon. I'm not sure if I want to invest in doing stuff before I've actually written full canon text for people yet. But yes, speaking about Fort Misthaven and its associated madness, I have not yet had the opportunity to put together the info pack for the Discord mood board event thing that we're going to be doing in Discord, where we are going to be looking at renovating my room by me. So I have not yet had the opportunity to do that. I wanted to do that today, except my conduit from Sunday asked me some questions about VTubing this morning, so I lost quite a bit of time answering his questions on that front. It was so funny, but it was also so cute. And I gave him some advice for beginners and showed him where to find the software and where to find the resources that a beginner should be looking at and all of those things. So it was a very, very, very wholesome thing that we could talk over. But yeah, so needless to say, I had plans for how this day was going to run out, but that did not happen. And between everything that has happened over the weekend and percolating thoughts coming to a head, essentially, I have a couple of things that I want to tweak up, I want to change, I want to improve on. And one of the things you'll see the pinned comment is regarding a survey for times when we may stream. I am looking at what times you guys are here, what times you are available, what times you would like me to be available. And basically, I'm looking at your guys' availability and looking at how that averages out. And from there, I'm going to be looking at how I'm going to revise my streaming and actually sleeping schedules to make sure that we have the optimum experience for everyone involved. So, it's gonna potentially change things up a little bit. Might potentially shorten some streams to allow for maybe an early slot for Europe and a later slot for the US. We don't know yet. It all depends on the data we get back. But it is something that is potentially on the cards. That being said, I have also implemented asterisk because I still need to finish my price change map. I have implemented, as I believe it was bread who suggested and recommended the service for being able to work on my own stuff, the patronage services. So that is something that we are going to be working on soon. And there's some initial work that needs to go in before those services can go live, actually. But that is something that needs to happen pretty much immediately. And also from there, looking at things like what can we do in terms of other little improvements along the way. On the front of my website and Blue Sky handle, which are tied together, that will be resolved hopefully sometime in the run of the week. The web host change is still in progress, so we're waiting for that to finish pulling through so that I can actually re-register and do the thing, build the website, actually have a static information space where you guys can see things, like who are the Fort Misthaven characters in a nutshell, before anything else, so that if you want to be a patron for this, the writing of a certain character's POV, because disclaimer, I am working on something that involves each of my Mistgard teammates' POV, so it's not just the Harrier POV, it's also everyone else, which is gonna be wild, but it's gonna be fun. And unfortunately that means that I've got a lot of writing ahead of me, and I want to see, based off of the characters that you guys decide to wave motivational pom-poms for, that what all the response is going to be on that. I would also like to generally start doing a couple more things with videos and shorts and all of that madness. I had an idea for something, but I need to do a little bit of research before I can implement it. It is something a bit linguistic, which I've been wanting to do for a small eternity, but I just didn't know what aspect to take, because I am bilingual, but I am also not trying to be a language teacher. I don't think that is where I want to go. But I do like linguistics and the exploration of words. Not that I've studied it in any extensive manner, but I do want to expand my vocabulary. And so I've come up with an idea that will let us expand vocabulary and be a little bit fanciful on that front as well. So I am doing the research on that, and I want to implement it relatively soon. We shall see once again on that front too. It'll also force me to get a little bit better at video editing, I think. Probably. So yeah, lots and lots and lots of cool things in the works. And that's the hydrate timer. So everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages and let us take a sip. Yuppie, new words! Yes, Citrina, hello! Welcome in. And yes, I'm very excited for it. So, it will focus on English vocabulary, because this is an English channel. And we're just going to be looking at... okay, I don't want to give spoilers too soon, but we're going to be looking at some vocabulary stuff with the English language. So perhaps for those of us who are actually still learning the language, you might pick up some interesting vocabulary that's maybe not beginner vocabulary, but certainly interesting and fun to know. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's something that I think I could do. I feel like I am going to live with a thesaurus on my desk, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. On that front though, let us look at schedule. Let's look at the schedule. Over here, let's just make sure it's the right one. Yes. There we go. So we've got a new schedule. Oh, I just realized that stuff has not been functional this day. Whoopsie. Refresh. Did not realize that those were broken. I'm sorry. I did not realize that those were broken. I did not see. So, interesting thing. Tomorrow we are going to be doing data capture. Which I know sounds like really lame, but we're going to be looking at how long it takes me to actually do the artwork. So we're going to be looking at my historical records of my portfolio as Harrier Citadel, and we are going to be taking note of how long each type of illustration took to make. We're going to be looking at a whole bunch of things and grabbing that information. You're going to see on the spreadsheet what the time was for each illustration. So you'll see the title of the illustration, you'll see who was the subject matter, you'll see the date that it was completed, and also the time it took to produce, which is going to be... It's an interesting exercise. And I'm doing that across a bunch of categories. For tomorrow, I think I'm just going to do illustrations. We'll see, because I do know that I need to comb the VODs for the VTuber models in a bit more detail, because that is a lot more of an involved process, and the previous notes that I took might be a little bit jumbled, so I'm going to definitely need to revisit the VODs on those, and that's going to be a little bit more of a lengthy process to get that information, but it's important stuff because it affects the pricing changes that are on their way. So that is going to happen. Then on Wednesday, we are going to be continuing the commission grind, but at some point I'm going to be joined by Heyo Teo. We're going to have a chat along. We're each going to be doing our own thing. But it's just going to be a casual chat between the two of us as we stream, answering questions either which way. If you've got questions for Teo, if Teo's audience has questions for me, that sort of thing. Just basically a casual co-op collab on our own stuff. Very casual. Whether I'm working on Sushian or whether I'm working on Marius, that is still to be seen. But we will burn that bridge when we get to it, I suppose. And then on Thursday, we are going to be doing another Fugi reactive. We're going to be doing another reactive, and that one is, if it does not take desperately long, then we're also going to start making a new Your Character Here base. We're actually looking at some more options in that direction, because I feel like I have neglected the YCH market a little bit, and I am looking at some interesting ideas for what we can do with that to have some more options for you guys to mess around with. So you can look forward to that. And as far as Sunday is concerned, we are not yet 100% sure what we're going to be doing there, if we are going to be streaming, or if at that point we'll have figured out enough to change up sleep schedules and all of that madness. So I will let you guys know accordingly if Sunday is happening, and if so, what we will be doing then. So that is what is on the game plan. So yeah. Also, you'll see, definitely changed up my schedule graphic. I wanted it to be a little bit less all over the show, I suppose. And the space utilization a little bit better. I can't say that graphic design is my favorite thing to do in the world, but sometimes it sort of works out. Sometimes. Anyway, so that is what is on its way. That is what is on its way. Chaos of the best nature. Yes, so we managed to get some body turns down on Marius today. We've managed to get the beginnings of some physics down on that as well. I am going to probably continue a little bit more offline work as well, but I do want to keep today's stream relatively short, because I do have quite a bit of admin waiting for me here after. And that might be a thing that happens a little bit more regularly, is that I might do a couple more shorter streams and then keep working for a significant amount of time after stream, depending on what all is on the cards. I do know that with the patronage services, we're probably, especially with the creative writing thing for Project Misthaven, it's probably going to be a hex curtain affair. It's going to be behind the "you can't see what I am writing, but I promise you I am doing the thing." It's not going to be completely offline. But the Misthaven illustration type stuff, that is definitely going to be streamed normally. More likely than not, as long as it's not spoilers. But things like character reference sheets, all of that sort of thing, that definitely we're going to stream normally if we get patronage time on that front. Thank you for stream, even if I only got to be here for a little bit of it. Yeah, no, it's no problem, Citri, and thank you for joining in. I appreciate it so much. I do hope that as we figure things out, I might actually have the opportunity to sit in on other people's streams a little bit more. I feel really guilty about that as well. But you know what? We do what we can, right? VOD Squad, a lot of it, and we do what we can. Anything else? Anything else? Not over here. Ah, yes, there is one more thing. I did mention that with the patronage services that I want to on the Keeper Media website, that is on its way when I've got my domain back. I will have like character profiles and things, but there are going to be other places where you can see that as well. So currently I am going to be working on populating the character profiles on VGen for the Misthaven cast. So Harrier is already there, Tarn is already there, and who's already there as well? I think Claret is already there, our Marchioness. Yeah, so I've got my boss, my one skirmisher colleague, and myself. We've got character profiles there. I've got a whole bunch more to populate, so let me just do this. Let me just go back over here for a second and go to that placement and switch that on. So this is the characters tab on VGen, and here you can see the drafts for everyone that I am going to be working on populating soon, and very soon, as I get more information on it. So in each of these character profiles, this is also known as VSonas on VGen. When you click in on these, you'll find everything like lots of drafts. Yes, lots and lots and lots of drafts. So you'll find everything like some personality traits. You'll find all of the potential outfit types, obviously pictures of what the person actually even looks like in the first place. And it is comprehensive. It can be seen even if you don't have a VGen account. It can be linked off of VGen. And within, if I just go back to preview mode here, boom. If I go into each one, there is the option to see all of the potential outfits and an entire gallery of artworks that are associated with the character. So if you are someone who is looking at potentially getting art of your character done with creatives on VGen, do strongly consider getting your character profiles here, because these references are literally perfect for sharing and linking. You guys, if you've looked at my reference sheet links that I drop under my schedule graphics, this is where you will get taken to. And all in all, I can only recommend using it. The characters are searchable, and it's incredibly, incredibly useful for not having to upload and rewrite all of the things every single time that you want to get someone else to draw your character the first time. You can also include personality information as well. So you have a lot of information that you can share of your characters, backstories, personality traits, if need be stats, like if you were dealing with a game character almost. So even if you have purchased an adoptable, you've got ownership records as well. So if the character has moved from owner to owner, you can see who all has been in the chain, which is kind of really, really cool. Kind of really, really, really cool. And obviously there's place for all of the credits everywhere as well. So if you have a different artist for your profile picture and banner and all of that, all of those credits are available to you as well. So yeah, it's a really, really cool feature. It's a really underutilized feature at the moment. And it is honestly, it's honestly something that I can 100% recommend using. If you have a character that you would like to have stuff available for. So yeah, I think that is where I have run out of things to talk about for this day. Aside from the fact that, yes, I did change my VGen handle. Guys, I did change my VGen handle. Okay, blah. Recognize, okay, blah. So it is no longer Keeper Media, it is now VGen/Harrier Citadel, because I figured that for everyone who meets me here, and I'm going to need to change the VGen link on the banner right below, I see. If you just search Harrier Citadel in VGen, you don't find me, so I needed to change that. Because people know me as Harrier Citadel, they don't know me as Keeper Media. So Keeper Media is still the admin entity, it still exists in the background, it still handles the taxes. But the rest of it is now under the Harrier banner. It's you. Yes, it is finally me. It is finally me. So, that is what has changed in the last 48 hours. That is what has changed in the last 48 hours. And I realize that I've started to develop, I have developed a habit of repeating everything that I say. Please let me know if that's annoying. I sense that I might be overdoing it. But at the same time, I don't know if I always pronounce it correctly the first time. My shame. I don't know if I pronounce things correctly the first time, so I sometimes kind of just, did I say that right? Or did I even say it, or did I just think I said it? You know? That sort of thing. So, yay, loud brain moments, right? You're doing great. Oh, thank you. We do our best, and we try to improve every single day. Even if that improvement is just trying to find consistency, right? That's all we can do. So yeah, that is where we are presently at in terms of the things and the stuffs. Have I got anything else? Yeah, I still need to record. I still need to record the showcases for Lunabelle and Forteo. I still need to record those. That was on my game plan for this week as well. So I'm going to find a gap for that at some point. And yes, I think that is where I have run out of things to say for this day. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I will try to have more fun things for us to do soon. I have got very little currently in the commission queue. So we have still got to finish Zany's reference sheet and character design, obviously. So that is something that we are going to be getting back into soon as well. But we have the Fugia for Thursday and Mari that we need to finish. And Sishian, the deadline on that has been pushed out till April. So we are going to have a little bit more time to work on that. But that means that very suddenly, my February and March are looking kind of very empty on the commission front. So if you are looking for anything, please do consider heading to begone.com/Harrier Citadel, not Keeper Media, like you see directly beneath my starboard side shoulder, right there. But yes, if you are looking for something, I am available. I have capacity. Whoa! And I look forward to working with you guys soon. Rest well when you get to it, Misslings. It has been awesome. Being able to share everything that has happened and that is on its way. More super secret fun stuff coming that I can't talk about yet, but I am also going to be working on that immediately after we end stream now. So yes, I have an idea for you, but I was nervous to ask. Ooh, please share. If you feel comfy to share it publicly, you can, but otherwise you can send me a DM. And I am all ears. I'm all ears. Yeah, next week, I think it is 29th? Yes, next week, Thursday, we are going to be finally be starting where winds meet. I am not putting that off anymore. Thursday, we are starting where winds meet. I have downloaded it. I have not progressed past checking the settings menu on it. It would be a comic kind of for lore stuffs. Ooh! Comics, lore stuffs, lovely, my favorite thing. Actually, on that front, I actually am planning in my comic art section, one of the new things that's coming is animatic illustrations as well. So that is a thing that's coming. It's basically the same as comic art, except that it's set up instead of on pages in panels, it's set up in broken up layers so that you can animate those into animatics more readily. but the costing is exactly the same as comic art. So that is a thing that is on its way. It will be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I am very, very much looking forward to it. More stuff is always fun. Like, I don't always have all of the story ideas for short little things, but when they hit, I really enjoy working on them. I don't yet have long format sort of comic stuff in mind, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. We'll see. And that is not a reference. That is not a reference. I'm not planning anything on the background there. Wait, no. If you know, you know. That was not one of those references. Just putting that on record. But yeah, it's one of those things that I want to get to. Oh, don't worry, I have a lot of ideas in my brain, but I have yet to put them in motion. Ah, I see. Yes, it's always good to have people who have the ideas, and then the people who have the means to make them happen. The world needs all sorts. We are all licorice. All sorts. The crazy is hitting, guys. It's time for me to end stream. Or no, is that maybe the fun point that it gets fun? I don't know. Does the fun hit when the crazy hits? I always feel self-conscious when the crazy hits, just a little bit. But it's fun. It is fun. I want to get to the crazy a little bit more often. We'll get there. Ha 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 ha. But yes, licorice. Ooh, I'd be strawberry flavored. Ooh. Oh, nice. Yes, I'd probably definitely just be plain salt. I like the salty one. I like the salty one. And the chalk one, the one that looks like chalk. That one I also like. Yeah. No, but I'm looking forward to this week. It's going to be fun. There's lots of cool stuff on its way. There's lots of new stuff on its way. If you're interested in collabing with me, if you're a fellow content creator, please hit me up. I'm open for collabs. I literally plan my week on the Sunday. I plan my week ahead on the Sunday. So, if you let me know that you got something in mind for the week thereafter, I can usually make a plan. And yeah, so whether it be just chatting stuff, or if it's a game that we both have, or if it is an arty thing, I'm cool with pretty much anything. And I'm willing to try stuff. I'm just, limited budget for acquiring games. So, yeah, if I'm not going to be doing it in a collab, chances are my gaming is going to be on a very, very, very low key. As it has been. So, yeah. Anyway, rest well when you get to it, guys. It's been tons of fun. And until next time, cheery bye.